Hey, what's up guys? It's Austin here from Mutation Creation, and in today's Showcase Saturday we have the Enhancer gene. And Enhancer is very similar to Desert Ghost, except it's a lot brighter and the tones are a little bit different. And at this size you can't really see too much of a difference inside of the colors. They still look very black and very yellow and very bright, but the main difference at this size, if you look at the head, there's kind of a head stamp in there, but if you look past that head stamp into the neck, you see the colors blushing all the way back, right into the back there, and that's what the Enhancers do. Desert Ghosts tend just to have that head stamp in the middle, so that's one thing we can notice as babies. We're going to move into some combos of the Enhancers and some of the adult versions. We're actually going to get into the adult version of just the Enhancer right after this. But we really want to show you what it looks like with the Desert Ghost. We're going to compare it to a Desert Ghost. And quickly before the video, we went to go look at the Desert Ghost. She is in shed right now, but it's still going to give you an idea about how different the two are. So we're going to get into that right now. And right here we have an Enhancer adult female. This one actually laid recently. There's no other genes. This is just Enhancer. And right away you can see how much those blacks have brightened up. And you got a lot of blushing inside of the dorsal as well. And just the overall snake in general got a lot brighter, has a lot more yellow tones, especially on the sides, and it has this really nice yellow flaming coming up. You don't get that too much with the Desert Ghost, but it happens a lot with the Enhancers. Just a lot of flaming and a lot of yellow and a really blushed out head. And if we look at that head, you can see there's no more head stamp, and it actually blushes all the way into the neck, and it's really bright. And like I said before, we do have that DG who is in shed, but if you compare, you can see how much darker it held those blacks. There's not as much blushing like the Enhancer has, and even though it is in shed, it's not the best comparison. I'm just going to go put this girl back real quick. If we look at the Desert Ghost head, you can see how it still has that head stamp into adulthood, and you can still see it even though it's in shed. Hopefully we can get another picture, but I'm sure a lot of you guys already have Desert Ghost, so compare to the one I just showed you to your Desert Ghost at home, and you can see what I'm talking about. And now let's get into some really cool Enhancer combos. So first off, for the Enhancer combos, we have an Enhancer G-Stripe, and we actually have a few Enhancer G-Stripe combos. So throughout this video, you're going to be seeing a whole bunch of Enhancer G-Stripes and even some other recessives added in later on. And this one right here is actually 100% head for clown. When you have a het clown inside of the G-Stripe, you tend to get a broken up G-Stripe pattern, which I think looks really cool with the contrast from the Enhancer. It really gave you a nice dorsal stripe that's very blushed out and creamy, and then on the sides it's very nice too and bright, a little bit more dirtier. You have some little pixelation, granity pixelation along the sides, as well as still some flaming coming up from the Enhancer. But getting other genes into this really makes this pop, and then of course getting clown into it would be amazing. And we actually have an Enhancer G-Stripe clown. We'll get into that later in the video, but I would love to go see some combo Enhancer G-Stripe clowns in the future, and we're definitely working towards them, so stay tuned for that. Let's get into some really cool Enhancer combos. For the combos, we have a Pastel Enhancer, and you can just see how nice the Pastel works into the Enhancer. Works really good into the Desert Ghost too, but I think the Enhancer just takes the cake. Look how yellow that head is. It's very bright, and once again you got that blushing going all the way into the neck here, and it's just looking incredibly bright and yellow. Nice contrast between the darks inside of the back, but just like we said earlier, Enhancer doesn't hold the blacks too well, and it gives a lot of flaming and blushing. And just look at the flames coming up the sides here. There's no yellow belly or anything in the yellow belly complex inside of this snake. It's just the Pastel and the Enhancer together, and some of them are even coming all the way into the dorsal. That flame just went all the way up. We have a lot of nice blushing where the black should be as well. This one's also possible head for G-Stripe. G-Stripe doesn't usually add any color, so really cool just to see how nice Pastel and Enhancer work together. And then we're actually lucky enough to get the G-Stripe version of this. Let's show you that right now. So here we have a Pastel G-Stripe Enhancer, and once again the Pastel just worked so well in this combo. Really made the yellows pop on this snake, especially compared to that last Enhancer G-Stripe het clown we showed you. The yellows in this definitely take the cake. We even got some flaming coming up. It's a little bit hard to see. They're kind of washed in there with all the yellow tones, but it's kind of like a gray flaming coming up from the belly, and then that dorsal stripe on the back is really highlighted. It literally looks like creamy white, glowing. It almost looks like there's a light inside of the snake and it's just shining, especially towards the neck there. It's almost paper white, and it's really nice contrast with those nice browns and grays on the sides, bordering that nice yellow. And even the head on this girl is just really cool. It's almost translucent in the middle. You got some purple colors, and we even got those really nice eye stripes, and I even like the green and orange inside of her eyes. It really makes this whole combo come together. So here we have a super pastel enhancer G-stripe, and this guy is deep in shed right now, so his color's not looking his best, but you can still get a really good idea about how cool this guy really is. You got that blue translucent look, and it looks really cool. You can almost see the blue from the eyes coming through as well, and we still got those green, yellow, and almost orange eyes there. And if you look at the dorsal stripe on this snake, a lot of it looks like it's missing. The super pastel really blended in the yellow on the sides with the dorsal. You can kind of still see a faded line here, and in some spots you get those purple and gray borders. But overall, the snake looks a lot different than just the pastel enhancer G-stripe. I really like the snake when it's not out of shed. The colors pop that much more. Imagine the last pastel enhancer G-stripe on steroids, and this is basically what this is. But even though it's in shed, I thought I'd still give you guys a quick look at it. And let's get on to the next snake. So right here we have a pastel het red xanthic enhancer female, and this one really surprised me. I wasn't expecting that when you added pastel and het red xanthic together with the enhancer, that you'd get such a bright and yellow snake. The head on the snake almost looks like a super pastel, and then throughout we got a lot of pixelation with these nice almost gold bronze tones, kind of like gray. And then you have the really nice contrast with all the yellows and flaming coming up from the belly. Like the flaming is just really nice and white and has those nice gold and yellow outlines. And then even the blacks inside of the alien heads here are really nice with the contrast with the yellows. I really like this combo. Would love to get another dose of pastel, or maybe even another dose of het red xanthic to make the pastel red xanthic enhancer in the future. I think it'd be really cool, since the red xanthics kind of work like an xanthic, and how well DG works for the xanthics. This got me really excited for the enhancer xanthic project we have coming up. We have some triple heads for breeding, so hopefully in the future you get really lucky and make some amazing combos. So if we take the pastel out of that last one and add G-stripe, this is an enhancer het red xanthic G-stripe, and this one's actually going into shed right now, so her colors are not looking her best, but she still is good enough to show on the video. And I really liked how enhancer, het red xanthic, and G-stripe work together here. The het red xanthic erased most of the G-stripe markers along the side, kind of just gave you that nice faded dorsal stripe, and also changed the colors on the side, made it a lot more muddier and gray. And I really like that because it gave a lot more contrast with that really nice dorsal that looks highlighted. And it even gave you another row of color along the side. This is kind of like a three-tone snake. You got that really nice creamy color on the top, the grayish yellow, and then that nice flaming on the yellow on the bottom. And even the head on the snake just looks really cool. Once again, we have that nice blushing going all the way back in the neck, and just the overall head looks a really nice gold color, has some yellow tones in it, and just really fitting on the snake. I love to see the clown version of this. Het red xanthic works really well into the clowns, and I think with the G-stripe, how well it worked, it looked really cool to see the Kiki version of this. Sticking with the het red xanthic, here we have a banana het red xanthic enhancer, and I think banana worked really well with het red xanthic as well as the enhancer to make the snake pop. We have really cool purple tones from the banana mixed with the het red and the enhancer, and then you got these really nice white tones in the dorsal that give really nice contrast with the yellow along the sides and those purples, and that's from the enhancer and het red xanthic. Even this pattern along the side looks really nice, and that's your typical het red xanthic pattern. It likes to chain a lot. It's kind of like the Lori gene from BHB, but this is a Canadian version from Corey Woods, and it's just a really cool looking snake overall. And we were able to hit some other banana het red xanthic combos, and I'm actually going to just pull one out right now from you guys. And here we have the banana Enchi het red xanthic enhancer, and adding Enchi to it really cleaned it up. Het red xanthic and Enchi are actually allelic together. It's in that cinnamon complex, and together they give you some really nice orange tones, and those are kind of coming through, and you can see it between where those dark colors should be in the pattern. Gives you a little bit of an orange in there with that creamy tan look. And just the overall color of the snake is really white, kind of like what we were seeing in that last one in the dorsal, but it took away a lot of those yellows and just made it really clean and uniform throughout the whole snake. And Enchi, of course, is a gene that cleans up. That's why all this chaining we're getting from the het red xanthic looks super clean and super bright. And I've noticed with the enhancer, you don't get too many of those banana freckles, so if you want to keep your bananas looking really nice and bright, maybe not too much on the orange side, but very bright and creamy, adding enhancer is a really good idea. Before we transition away from the het red xanthic stuff, here we have a banana red xanthic enhancer, and the red xanthic is a super het red xanthic. It kind of looks like an xanthic, hence why they're called het red xanthics. But with the banana, it gave you this really nice dark purple tones, and then adding the enhancer on top really creamed this whole snake out. You can see that really nice creamy tone all throughout the dorsal. Almost looks like a G-stripe dorsal like we were showing you earlier. But then you got that really nice purple tan color on the sides, in contrast with all the cream inside of the donut holes and alien heads along the side. And this is kind of like a super lorry with the pattern. You can see a lot of chaining, a lot of just wackiness going on, and the enhancer kind of cleaned it up a little bit too, especially with that really nice dorsal stripe almost giving you a full dorsal, as well as chaining the pattern a little bit more and making it a little less sporadic. And then of course, if you look at the head there, it's really nice and blushed out, and the eyes in the snake look really dark and black in contrast, even though they're kind of brown and a little bit red inside. But overall, really cool looking snake, and I just really liked what het red xanthic did inside of the enhancers. Here we have a proven breeder Pastel Enchi enhancer, and I really liked how Pastel and Enchi worked with the enhancer. It really blushed out the head, and once again all the blushing went all the way back into the neck there. All the black tones kind of were erased, especially inside of the dorsal. You got all this really nice flaming coming through, and then you have these really nice soft gray brown tones on the side coming up, and in some spots it almost looks like it's green. And then you have these really nice orange pink flaming, especially towards the tail inside of here. The snake is kind of going to shed right now, so his color is not looking his best, but overall he's still looking very bright and nice, and a really cool combo. This guy is also a possible het G-stripe, and hopefully we can prove him out this year. Here we have an Enchi enhancer, and I really like how it looks without the pastel in it. You got these really nice dark colors in between the pattern. It's not really a black, it's more of like a grayish tone to it, and you have a little bit of flaming in the dorsal, a lot less than what you had with the pastel there. And of course we have a lot of flaming coming up from the belly as well, that you get from a lot of enhancer combos. I really like how it looks and how high it comes up on both sides. It's not in every single line, but it is pretty apparent throughout the whole snake. And Enchis actually have a color change coming up halfway on the snake, especially where that pixelation is. You can see how much more brighter and orange it is on the bottom compared to the top, where it's a little bit more gray and yellow, and I really like how that looks. The overall pattern is really clean throughout the snake, as Enchi likes to clean up pattern and band it over, giving you that really cool look. You still get a few alien heads, but not as much as if you didn't have Enchi in here. And then of course you get those really wide eye bands from the Enchi. And then I like the head stamp it has on there. You got some really nice orange, especially towards the snout. And just overall, I really like the look of the snake. Here we have an Enchi asphalt / yellow belly enhancer. And adding the asphalt / yellow belly really darkened the tones up between the pattern. Gave you amazing flaming compared to the other one. There's a lot more throughout, and a lot of speckling on the belly, which is very apparent inside of this yellow belly and asphalt stuff. It also gave us a little bit of a deeper head stamp. Right over there you can see how much more brighter it is. You still got those thick eye bands, as well as that color change from the Enchi coming up about halfway where the pixelation is, and a lot of banding throughout and a lot of clean pattern overall. You lose a little bit of that gray tones, but to get this much more of a brighter snake throughout, I think it was really cool. And just that head stamp once again, I really like how it looks versus the other one. And I'd love to see some freeways with this. We already hit one freeway enhancer combo, which you'll see later in this video, but to hit some more, especially without pastel, because the one we hit has pastel. I love to see how orange we can make the enhancer freeways, and just play around with it and see what we could do with it. Sticking with the Enchi asphalt / yellow belly, here we have a pastel Enchi asphalt / yellow belly enhancer, And right away you can see how much brighter it is with the pastel. Of course, you have that really nice blushed out head with the blushing going all the way into the back of the neck. You have those really wide eye bands from the Enchi, as well as the overall clean pattern. When you have pastel in there, that color change halfway kind of goes from a white now to a really nice orangey yellow. And overall, a lot of those blacks are being held at this size. Once again, remember, when they do get older, they do blush out a lot more, but you're already seeing it happen over here in the dorsal, and that's with the pastel. It makes it blush out that much more, and into adulthood, it would be a lot brighter. Then of course we have the asphalt / yellow belly once again, giving us these really nice flamings. You already get some flaming with the enhancer. When you have the asphalt / yellow belly, it really turns it up a notch, and you're getting some that even higher up to have those really nice yellow with some orange tones inside of them. And then just a lot more throughout both sides of the snake, making it look really cool. And we actually hit this with asphalt and yellow belly together, so the Pastel Enchi Freeway Enhancer, and we're going to show you that right now. Here we have the Pastel Enchi Freeway Enhancer, and right away you can see how bright this snake is. It's a lot brighter than just a Pastel Enchi Freeway. Pastel Enchi Freeways tend to have this really nice orange tone that you're kind of seeing over here throughout the whole snake. But when you add enhancer to it, it definitely gives a more of a yellow tone throughout and makes the colors pop that much more, especially in the dorsal. Also takes away a lot of that black that you have in the dorsal over here, makes it more of a brownish gray color and fades it out. And this snake actually is going into shed. You can see a little bit of crinkling at the neck there, and the eyes are looking a little bit dull and blue. But overall, the snake is crazy looking and very bright. I love to see it once again without the pastel to get those really nice oranges in there from the Enchi. But even though we have pastel in here, you still got a really nice array of colors. You got the oranges, yellows, some purples even inside of the tail here, and those darker tones of gray, brown, and even some blacks inside of the face there. And overall, it's just a really cool freeway combo, and a lot more to come with the enhancer freeways. Here we have a pastel pinstripe enhancer or a lemon blast enhancer, and right away, once again, you can just see how well the enhancer worked with the pastel, really brightening the snake up and giving you a lot of different tones of yellow. You got the yellows along the sides, which are a little more deeper, and then those yellows that are almost white inside of the dorsal that really stand out and make the snake pop. And you can see we have pinstripe in here as well, which is giving you this really nice labyrinth pattern. And if you look at it, you can see how gray those lines are. They're usually jet black, and that's from the enhancer fading out the blacks inside of there. And then you even have the pastel and the pinstripe working together, giving these really nice faded, blushed out spots inside of the dorsal. Usually you have those and they're a little bit darker, but when you have the enhancer, it really makes them shine and gives you that highlighter effect. Here we have a lesser enhancer. No other genes, just the lesser in here, and we waited till the end to show you guys this one because we were really surprised on how much the lesser brightened up with the enhancer inside. It gave you all these really nice gray tones with a little bit of a green tinge to them from the lesser. Lesser kind of looks a little bit green, and of course we have that really nice flaming coming up from the belly with the enhancer, and overall that really nice lesser pattern. And it seems to be a little bit more banded and cleaner than usual. Enhancer tends to clean up and brighten up. And then if we look at the colors just in the neck there, they're really nice and white and give really nice contrast with those grays and greens that we're getting along the sides. And even the eye stripes on the head there, just a really nice creamy color. Definitely a beautiful snake as an adult. It didn't start out this way. We noticed a lot of the enhancer combos, especially when you get darker colors into them, like the cinnamon, lesser, and other stuff, you get really dark babies, and then as they get older with every shed they get a lot brighter. Here we have an Enchi lesser enhancer, and adding Enchi to that lesser really changed the overall colors of the snake. You still got a lot of those gray tones, especially coming up in the flaming, but if you look at the top, there's a lot more orange tones and yellow to it as well, especially between the pattern. Kind of gave you this really nice dorsal stripe. It's kind of faded even between the pattern. You can see on the sides you have the nice gray, but in the dorsal you get more of an orange stripe coming throughout, even going through the pattern. And then if you look at the overall pattern of the snake, it's very clean and banded, of course, from the Enchi. Enchi was a great gene to mix in with the bell complex to clean it up. Also gave us those really nice wide eye bands you're seeing there. Also brought some orange into the green eyes of the snake, which look really cool And we're actually able to add one other enhancing gene into here. Let's get into that snake right now. Here we have the Enchi Vanilla Lesser Enhancer. So we added vanilla to that last snake, and you can see how it changed the colors that much more. Looking at the head right there, it's a lot more blushed out and yellow inside of the middle between the eye bands. We still have those thick eye bands from the Enchi, and then that blushing going all the way back in the top of the head into the neck there. And if you look at the overall tone of the snake, it's a little bit less orange than what it was before, and a little bit more blushed out. Vanilla tends to just brighten the snake up a little bit more, not too much like the fires do. It does more to the head than anywhere else. So pretty much the rest of the snake looks very similar to the last one. You got that Enchi banding coming over, that orange inside of the pattern just in the dorsal between all of the banding, and then that really nice gray flaming coming up on both sides. Enchi and Lesser work really well together with the enhancer. Enchi overall, especially in the enhancer. So a lot more stuff to do with this combos. Maybe get it into the clown, and maybe even hypo as well, because hypo really enhances the enhancers to go and make them look that much more blue. Especially in these gray tones, it would make it pop really blue. So if you're looking to get another recessive interior enhancer clown or desert ghost clowns, hypo is definitely the way to go. So here we have enhancer clowns, and there's actually 3 of them here. And right away you guys can probably tell these are a lot more brighter than desert ghost clowns, especially at the head there. You have a really nice orange flaming coming in on the head and blushing, and then you got some purple tones, and then throughout you just got these really nice highlighted yellows. Gives you a really nice contrast between that brown and purple look inside of the dorsal. And I was actually shocked when we hatched these. We hatched 6 clowns, and all of them looked like enhancer clowns inside of the egg, but that's because I was basing them off desert ghost clowns. And once they shed, you can see that there was only 3 enhancer clowns inside of the clutch, and nonetheless I am not disappointed at all because how nice these look, especially compared to the desert ghost stuff. If you guys don't know what a DG clown looks like, we're gonna post a picture of one right here, so now you can see that. And looking back at these, you can just see how much better these are, brighter, and just the orange on the head kills the desert ghost clown. And we're actually lucky enough to hit 1 enhancer clown combo and then 1 with another recessive on top, so we'll move into those right now. Here we have the leopard enhancer clown, and right away you can notice that it has that really nice orange in the head just like the enhancer clowns did. And overall the snake is just super bright and has a lot of contrast, especially with that dorsal. And what we're noticing is that when the snake was a baby, nice dorsal was really dark and black like over here, but now especially towards the front it's starting to fade out into that really nice gray color, giving you some nice yellow tones inside of the black, fading it out that much more. And of course the leopard clowns are very clean and uniform along the sides, just a couple of spots. The enhancer did not change that much, except it cleaned it up a little bit. You don't have as much spots as other leopard clowns, and just overall just a really nice clean looking snake. It has a really good flaming coming up from the belly like enhancers do, and I'm very pleased with the snake. Would love to go and get spot nose into this to make the enhancer Batman, maybe even Cypress or some other combos to try to make those orange colors pop that much more as well. Even yellow belly, I'd really love to see a yellow belly enhancer clown. The yellow belly DG clowns look really cool, and with the enhancer clowns looking that much better, I can't wait for the future. Here we got the enhancer G-stripe clown. So we showed you enhancer G-stripes, we showed you enhancer clowns, and then here they are together. And so this is also known as an enhancer Kiki. And if you look at G-stripe clowns, they tend to have a really nice pattern where you got somewhat of a dorsal stripe going throughout, but you also have this really nice sporadic pattern coming over the sides, sometimes banding over, giving these really nice teardrops all the way down towards the belly. And when you get enhancer in here, it really changes the colors. Kikis tend to be very brown and black, but with the enhancer it brought in a lot of orange tones, yellows throughout, and these really nice grays that if you didn't have the enhancer they'd be more black. But it brought all these really nice oranges and yellow tones inside of the blacks there, brightening it up and making it stand out that much more. We'll love to see leopard in this, and that leopard enhancer clown we actually just showed you with 66% head for G-stripe, so very possible in the future we'll be able to make the leopard enhancer Kiki and even more combos in the future. So stay tuned to see what we do with the enhancer clown project, and let's move on to the enhancer pieds. Here we have a leopard cinnamon enhancer 100% het for pied, And this guy is going to be the father of a lot of pied het enhancers we're producing this year. And if we're lucky enough, maybe even some enhancer pies with the leopard or cinnamon in there. But in my opinion, I would like to not hit the cinnamon just because of how high white it is and how much the cinnamon is going to blush out with the enhancer. So if you notice, a normal leopard cinnamon is very dark and black, but right here you got really nice yellow tones, especially in that dorsal. It is very nice yellow and creamy, and you still got some darker tones here. They're almost brown black, but they're a lot brighter than what they would be if there was no enhancer in here. They should be solid black. The enhancer once again bringing in these yellow tones and kind of brightening it up throughout. Of course, we still have those really nice flaming coming up from the belly. The enhancer does. And if you notice, the snake is very striped and chained, especially towards the tail. Leopard tends to do that a lot when you have the het pied involved, and with the enhancer it definitely gives a cool effect with that contrast between the blacks and browns and those really nice creamy colors, giving you kind of like a 5-line snake, which just looks super cool. And to finish off, we had to go with the crown jewel right here. This is the world's first enhancer pied, and I just love what enhancer did with pied. Don't get me wrong, I really like the Desert Ghost pieds as well, but I think enhancer took it up a notch and really made the colors pop that much more. We had some people from the States over here in Canada, and they were looking at this asking if there was Pastel, Orange Dream, or maybe even Fire inside, because they produced many Desert Ghost pies and none of them look this bright. You got a lot of really nice orange tones throughout, really nice yellows, and then kind of this green tone just going throughout the whole snake. Not too sure how well the camera's gonna pick that up, but I'm really pleased with just the enhancer pied, adding Enchi into this Pastel, Fire, Orange Dream, Yellow Belly, and then combinations of all those together, even some super forms of the Orange Dream, Enchis, and other stuff. You could really make some very nice looking snakes, especially getting Leopard in there to change the pattern up a little bit, maybe even some darker stuff like Mahogany. I'd love to see how that would translate inside of the enhancer pied, but really pleased with how much brighter this is than the Desert Ghost stuff and how much more orange and yellows we're getting in here. We do lose a little bit of those blacks, but I'm very pleased with how the snake looks. So if you guys want to go and make your Desert Ghost project even that much better like some of the other breeders do, I know Canova's been doing it, and Will at RCR, they've been mixing enhancer with Desert Ghost to go and make their Desert Ghost stuff look much brighter. It's a mix of the two. You don't get as yellow as the enhancers or hold the blacks as dark as the Desert Ghost do, but you get a nice mix of the two. Or you could just keep the enhancers very pure and bright like we are doing here. And tell me what you think about the enhancers down below inside of the comments, how you think they match up to Desert Ghost. I think that it's a little bit brighter, a lot better overall. So I would love to hear what you have to say in the comments. I've looked at a lot of pictures of an adult Desert Ghost. That's why I showed a lot of adult enhancers today, to go give you the example to show how nice they are as adults versus the Desert Ghost. They kind of fade out a little bit. But that's going to be it for today's video. Comment down below what gene you would like to see next for Showcase Saturday. That's going to be it. So don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and we'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace out.